Hey there, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review for another Dolph Lundgren film, and the Dolphathon. And this time it is Stormcatcher, which is a pretty lazy cover. I actually prefer, if you go on Wikipedia, there's a different poster. This one just seems very cheap looking. But Stormcatcher, yeah, the theatrical poster is kind of this with some other stuff on it. This one is directed by Anthony Hickox, the same guy who gave us Waxwork, Waxwork 2, Hellraiser 3, Full Eclipse, the werewolf film with Mario Van Peebles, all films I like and have reviewed on this channel. And it's definitely better than the other Anthony Hickox film with Dolph, Jill the Ripper, which I'll talk about later. But Stormcatcher, I think, is a pretty decent flick. I know a lot of people don't like the film, but I enjoyed it. Dolph Lundgren, he plays a pilot of this top secret Phoenix stealth capable fighter plane, and he has his buddy played by, don't mispronounce this, Mistral Clark. I guess there was a Soul Train in the late 90s, and he was one of the hosts of that, or he worked on that. I haven't seen him on anything else. And yeah, he's the what you call the black comic relief sidekick. But I actually thought he was pretty decent, and he got to do some decently badass things at the end, and he was capable and wasn't useless, which I appreciated at the end of the film. He wasn't just dead weight. He wasn't just, oh, I'm there to do nothing to help with the circumstances, to help stop the bad guys. He actually does help Dolph out, which I appreciate that. And yeah, the actor I thought didn't do that bad of a job. I liked him. Most of the cast I liked, other than the girl who plays Dolph Lundgren's wife. I thought she was pretty bad. But like the little girl who plays Dolph's daughter, thought did a good job. The guy who plays the general, who we find out is our villain, I thought he was pretty solid. Funny enough, the director himself, Anthony Hickox, is an actor as one of these two agents. One's a male, one's a female. And looking at the credits, they're named Lock and Load. Agent Lock and Agent Load. And I'm like, who the hell wrote that? Like, really, those two agents, one of them, the director Anthony Hickox plays, you could have taken them out. You didn't need them in the movie. They didn't really do anything for the movie. They didn't accomplish anything in the movie other than they stand around and then you think they're going to help out and then they both get killed. As soon as they tell Mistral Clark what's going on, they immediately get shot and killed. So again, it's like these two agents named Lock and Load were really pointless. So that's one of the flaws in the movie. And yeah, with this kind of plain stealth flick, like a lot of these lower budgeted movies, they would use some stock footage of planes. I think there's even some stock footage of, was it Top Gun? Might be. Not the stealth bomber, but some actual fighter jets. I don't know, like the stealth bomber stuff, if they got stock footage, and if so, where from. But sometimes, a lot of times that would bug me. Here, the rest of the film I didn't mind, so I could give leeway, as opposed to, say, fucking Agent Red, which Agent Red stole entire scenes from this fucking movie, which I'll get to. Or even like Direct Contact, which stole a lot more from other films compared to Stormcatcher. So this one, I guess I'm getting some leeway. But you know, I like Dolph's character. You know, he's a coach of his girls' football team. I thought Dolph and his buddy Mr. Clark, I thought they worked fine together. I liked their conversations, their banter with each other. There's some nice bloody bits of violence by Anthony Hickox and some decent stylish direction. And you know what? The score, the music is pretty damn good. I gotta say, this score, sometimes in these direct-to-video films, not all the time, but quite a few times, the score will sound kind of cheap. This one I thought that David and Eric Wurst, really enough, their last name is Wurst, but it's W-R-S-T. David and Eric, they did a great job on the score. I think it's a pretty damn good score. It seems like a score that would fit in a bigger budgeted flick. I was rather impressed by the music. Usually in these Dolph Lundgren films, other than, Icon Peace, which I love that score, or The Punisher, but I'm talking about like the direct-to-DVD stuff, the score doesn't really jump out, but it did. From the opening credits, I'm like, this score's pretty damn decent. Pretty damn good job, man. Or men, David and Eric. They'll never see this, but if somehow they did, good job, man. Men. And I was saying some bloody bits of violence. You have one guy pretend to be Dolph, using his flight suit. He shoots these guards, practical blood squibs, and then there's also some other people who are fucking up guards on the outside. They're shooting guards too. The guy pretending to be Dolph gets a knife, throws it, kills a guy. Fucking blood splatters from the mouth. Again, violent, satisfyingly violent. And this whole bit is stolen and put into Agent Red a year later. Because that came out in 2000. This was 1999. So yeah, the whole being in the suit, knife throwing, shooting the guards, you'll see that in Agent Red. Even more so, which I'll talk about now. I'll gloss over Agent Red since I'm bringing it up here. But even the bit where the people are outside and there's an explosion and some of them are running from the explosion, I'm like, Jesus, this is all like the very beginning of Agent Red just stole a bunch of shit from this movie. Oh, I'll get to that fucking film, man. But so yeah, if you watch the beginning of Agent Red, you've seen bits of this movie. God forbid if you watch Agent Red. I believe me, I feel your pain. But all that stuff happens. The stealth bomber is stolen. Dolph wakes up. He's found out he's been knocked out, and they put the outfit on him. He's in the desert, and then he gets caught by the authorities. They think he did it. He's becoming a patsy. There's this van transport he's on, and there's some competent action sequences, like when the van he's in gets blown up and flipped over, and then these bad guys take him, put him in an ice cream truck named Mr. Whippy's. And that's why I'm wondering, like, is this movie trying to be a tongue-in-cheek film at times? Is that why you had, like, the two agents named Lock and Load and Dolph taken and put into an ice cream truck? Is Anthony Hickox trying to troll the audience, go, don't take this film too seriously? Because I don't know if it's working for me or not. Is this kind of weird eccentric... Can't even say the word right. Eccentricities? It's like, huh. But he's in this ice cream truck with these bad guys, and it's a truck that has like a little cage between the back and the drivers. But even this bit of action is competently handled, where Dolph is fighting the guys in the back, grabs a gun, shoots a guy. Good usage of slow-mo. Some would say this movie uses slow-mo too much, but I like the usage of slow-mo in this movie. I thought in this movie it worked to its advantage. Some movies it wouldn't, but this one I thought it did. Dolph shoots this guy. Then he uses one as a shield. He just kicks through the fucking cage to fuck up the drivers and crash the vehicle. And then another one back when Dolph gets to his house to get to his wife and kid, and these bad guys come into the house and he shoots some. He even flips a guy. He flips a guy and slams it down, so when he flips it, the guy goes face down, face first to the ground, which looked pretty painful. And this one bit that kind of made me chuckle is the bad guys have put this gas canisters, so Dolph and others have gas masks that they take it from the bad guys. And Dolph's fighting this guy, and his daughter's right near him, and the girl just takes a pin from the bad guy, and it's a flash grenade. And Dolph realizes it, gets the girl away, and this flash grenade blows in the one bad guy's face. But yeah, when people get shot, practical blood squibs. The wife gets stabbed, which looked pretty nasty. Granted, I didn't think the actress did a great job acting-wise. And did a kind of not kind of, it's a stylish shot where Dolph like picks up the gun in anger and slow-mo. Granted, if it goes on a bit too long, like an up close of the gun, like the bullet cartridges coming out. It's like, we did it, you know. You could cut this scene down by half. Okay. I appreciate the style, but this one went a little bit too long. But yeah, I appreciate some style compared to none, which I saw in Jill the Ripper, the other Hickox Dolph Lundgren film. I saw no style in that movie, in my opinion. Takes the wife to the hospital. The daughter says, "You go, I'll stay with mommy," which I thought was cute for the kid to say, because she wants to help out her dad. So I liked that little bit. This I thought it was a pretty funny bit where he tries to steal this plane to get to another location, like a older, I don't want to say crop duster plane, but like not like a fighter jet or anything, but like a smaller plane. And he's talking with this guy, and he pretends to be a mechanic, and then he pretends to be a New Yorker and Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Oh yeah, where you from? I'm from Flatbush, because there's a Lords of Flatbush, the Sylvester Stallone movie poster on the wall. Oh, you're from Flatbush? What school did you went to? And Dolph's like, school? Yo, who the fuck went to school? I don't know why, for the longest time, I always thought he said, "You breaking my balls about the fucking school," but he doesn't say that line, but he says, "Yo, who the fuck went to school?" Yeah, it was entertaining to see Dolph pretend to be New York or Brooklyn. I wish the scene went on a bit longer because that was a pretty funny sequence. But again, it was nice to see. Sometimes you look at movies like this as the little things. Like when you do a Dolph Lundgren marathon, you've seen many of them, and you're a fan of Dolph. Those moments kind of make you smile and make you appreciate. When you get enough of those little things, you can appreciate a film more compared to other people. I guarantee you other people would watch this film or others be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is a shitty direct-to-video film." I'm like, "How only is that bad?" If you want to see shitty, watch Nemesis 2, 3, and 4 with Sue Price. Watch some of those Steven Seagal ones like Attack Force or Today You Die or fucking The Foreigner. Watch plenty of other fucking bad ones that I have seen. Or if you want to stick with Dolph, watch Retrograde and then watch this film. But steals the plane. Oh, of course, before that, another funny bit is there's this big guy. And again, didn't see it coming, and maybe some of the eccentric stuff was Hitchcock's way of trying to play with an audience's expectations. But you have these like big guys, like, "Hey, come on, man, what are you doing? Stealing the plane?" Dolph tries to hit him, and you think, okay, he's gonna knock the guy out because this is Dolph, and the other guy, he's just a fat guy, and the guy just fucking grabs Dolph's arm and goes, "Is that the best you got?" And fucking punches Dolph, and Dolph's like, it falls to the ground, which I'm like, I completely forgot about that. I didn't see that coming, so it made me laugh. And Dolph's like, which made the character Dolph's character a bit more endearing in a weird way. And so Dolph is thinking like, "Fuck this," and kicks the guy in the balls. Fucking hits him in the balls. And does it, and lands on Dolph, kind of like that one armored thing landed on Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. This fat guy lands on Dolph, and Dolph can't move. He's like, he can't fucking move. So again, little moments like that made me appreciate the film more than it would other people. I'm pretty damn steepy sure on that. But he takes the plane, gets to where he needs to go. By this point, his buddy, Mistral Clark, has been taken. Not sure it's Mistral or Mistral Clark. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And you find out who one of the turncoats happens to be. Dolph and him gets into a fight, which is a bit fun because at one point Dolph literally picks up a fucking couch and beats the fuck out of the guy with the couch. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, ridiculous, but it was pretty damn fun. This Dolph just picks up this fucking couch like, bam, bam. I, I did little moments like that, brings a smile on my face. Kiss the guy's ass, hangs the guy, hangs the asshole, then gets, unties his buddy, Mr. Clark, and then you find out the real bad guy, the general. And they have Dolph's daughter, and they want him to fly this plane. And he finds out that what they want to do is make Dolph blow up the White House. Right, even with a stealth plane, I don't know if it's going to be that easy, but whatever. And yeah, this is where you get stock footage, like some fighter jets, little like stock footage from Top Gun, some stealth bomber footage, which I don't know what movie that's from. I would assume I would be damn surprised if they shot it for this movie. So I don't know where it's from, but it's like okay, fine, I could deal with it. I like that the buddy, like I mentioned before, that he's not just a fly on the wall and useless. But like he did something to page Dolph so that the jet fighters get a signal. So even though the stealth bomber is invisible, the fighter jets are able to sense that, and like he's trying to help Dolph. Another point where when him and the Darby taking the vehicle, the buddy had stolen like a glow stick type of thing and braces and is moving it so that Dolph can use the computer and see, so that's where you are. To make sure, like, do I have the right vehicle? Oh, I do have the right vehicle. Okay. Because he's checking vehicles as to where, his buddy and his daughter are at. Well, I did like this one part before that where this guy who's with Dolph in the plane is being a fucking asshole, and Dolph just fucks him over and he jets his ass out of the plane. That was pretty fun. And I like what's the term? They reference something that they set up earlier in the film. It's like, here's the setup, and now we do a payoff. We set up that Dolph is a coach of the girls' football team, and there is a point to that, because then here, they're communicating with Dolph via computer, because the bad guy wants Dolph to complete the mission to blow up the White House, and Dolph gives a football play analogy. And of course, the general is confused, but the buddy and daughter know what's going on. And lo and behold, the black comic sidekick actually does some stuff. He rescues the girl. He gets one asshole out of the truck. He gets the girl out. Like, wow, they actually give that type of character something to do other than just have a thumb up his ass and go, like Kevin Hart would do. I'd rather watch this guy than Kevin Hart, I'll be honest. Wow, he actually does something. And then Dolph is able to blow up the vehicle. Fuck the guy up. And then everything's fine and dandy. They're at the game again. Football game for his daughter. And once again, it makes me wonder if Anthony Hickox had some kind of tongue-in-cheek thing to this flick because, like, he knew, I'm making a B-movie action film. We know what it is. Wink, wink. To the point there's a literal wink. Just like the wife is okay, asked Dolph, like, how are you such a good coach, blah, blah, blah. And then Dolph turns around, says the same football analogy, the same plan, the same play, I should say, the football play that helped save his daughter. He says that, and then he winks at the audience. Because as he's saying this, he's staring right at the camera, and he winks. And then cue the credits. I'm waiting for him to go, and no one is half the battle. And they cut to G.I. Joe or something. So, I mean, that was a bit weird. But again, it kind of... At first, I'm like, did I hate that? And it's weird, and you didn't need it in the film, but it has a weird kind of a... It gave me a smirk. So I must have enjoyed it to some extent. I mean, the movie, the plot... Yeah, with his lower budget flick, you don't get some stock footage. The wife character, I thought the acting wasn't that great on her front. The two agents, like Anthony Hickox, the director himself, and this lady, they didn't need to be in the film. They were completely and utterly worthless. They did nothing to serve the plot, serve the story. Again, they could have been completely cut out, and nothing would have really changed. But other than that, yeah, I thought some of the action scenes were well handled. It had some fun moments that memorable. Dolph trying to be Brooklyn and New York, feeding the shit out of a guy with a couch, the weird eccentricities of winking at the camera or being put into a bad guys who have a ice cream truck, or some decent stylish direction where Anthony Hickox is using the camera, or like interesting shots like when after Dolph steals the plane and lands to where it needs to go, there's this one shot, there's a wide shot where we're at a bad guy who's doing his pacing for the perimeter, and way in the background you see Dolph. He kills a guy, and then you see him coming and going to the door. All in one shot, doesn't cut away, no up close shots, no close ups, and then go through a door. And again, that might seem nothing to anyone else, but again, considering how many films and direct-to-video films I've seen, that's kind of an interesting shot. The typical shot would be up close to Dolph, point of view where the other guy's at, go in. But the fact it was done in one shot, and you see this tiny figure of Dolph and taking this one guy out and going to the door, while up close is this guy pacing back and forth. I don't know, it made it a little bit more interesting than the norm. Which is a good summation of the movie too. I thought it has, if you're a big Dolph fan, I think it has enough little interesting bits of stuff that makes it a little bit more fun than the typical Dolph or direct-to-video Dolph film, or direct-to-video film in general. And I appreciate that, especially considering what we're going to get next, which is maybe the worst year for Dolph Lundgren, because in 2000 he had Jill the Ripper, The Last Warrior, and Agent Red. And holy shit, am I going to miss talking about movies like this. If you think this movie that bad, watch The Last Warrior. Watch Agent Red. Watch Retrograde. Watch Jill the Ripper. And this looks a lot... Even without it, I would still like this film. But compared to those, this looks a lot better. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I thought Anthony Hickox did a pretty decent job directing it. And, you know, I liked Dolph's character in the film. And I liked, like I said, I like his buddy, Mistral Clark. It's too bad. I don't think he did too much after this, which is sad to say. I didn't mind him in this flick. I thought he was a likable character. And a really good score. Better than average score for a direct-to-video flick. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.